From Stegosaurus age, there was a club that controlled us in our souls. They keep us in line, tell us to do all the time, and they hold us by our balls. And over thousands of millennia passing, they put us through different events, yeah. Gave us cancer and 9/11 and the plague, and then fucked us in the ass. Now the whole wide world is run by homo frogs that are controlled by forces far beyond me. God is now part of the league under Muhammad Ali, and we're all toys, children of the mods. Carefully chose to toy with nominally. Wanna know why it all be? Just follow the oil money. And it's run by a race of Jews, and the lizards control them too. And it's run by some black dude. I'm in love with your Gotti. I'm in charge of the club now too. And my dick is inside some dudes. I control all your thoughts and all your moves. I'm in the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati. Everything that you believe's probably not true. I'm in love with some gay black dudes. First step of the joining the New World Order as you find out your first day. Commit a blood sacrifice and perform 2 acts of which the nature of which is gay. Then you go up in the tower where the man in high castle bends you over for him to rape, yeah. Come to think of it, actually I blew 20 guys and my membership card is late. Now I'm thinking like, do you know who I call up for information on Illuminati? Someone there could explain me how world domination plans tie into boys. Cock stuck up my butt, now I'm on bed rest, hurts my butt when I pee. Now I'm all out of money, gave all of it to the Chinese. The world is run by an Asian dude who transforms to a gay Tom Cruise, and that's controlled by the same black dude. I'm in love with your Gotti, and these guys that are in my room who represent New World Order too, and they say that when they're inside of my poop chute, I'm in the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati. Everything that I believe is coming now true. I'm in love with the shape of dudes. The forces of Hades pulls us, controlled by an ancient culture. Killed all of the Hades and the Jews of the Mercedes troll off. Was told I could pay to join up. All they did was rape my cornhole. I called to complain, was told that all sales are final, don't call back. And it's run by a pack of coons, and they pull us with magnets too. The cabal where our ass is looped. I'm in love with your Gotti. Black guys always send my nudes, and now my butthole smells like dudes. And your Gotti says soon as he jizzes, I'm in the Illuminati. Come on, Gotti, baby, come on. Come on, I'm in the Illuminati. Come on, Gotti, rape me, come on. Come on, Gotti, baby, come on. Come on, Gotti, baby, come on. Come on, Bobby, baby, Illuminati. Everything that I believe, I was told by black dudes, and that are up in my anus too.
And so, like, I mean, I didn't know she was anybody's, mother, and so that made things kind of awkward. And then they said, "Sir, did you know you're not allowed in daycares in the state of Maryland?" So
how many? Okay, wait. How many? Okay, we know you can't go to Canada.
Yeah.
How many states are you banned from?
Well, that all depends on whether or not I'm caught. You see, because until the Trump stimulus package really goes through, we're not going to have any armed border checkpoints between the states.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, that's really what we need. I mean, honestly, I'm of the opinion that, I look back and I'm like, listen, if we went and fought a whole Cold War and won that shit, just so that we couldn't have our own checkpoints with armed guards asking for papers, and I don't even know what the whole thing was over.
I was just about to say, thank God we won that horrible, long, drawn-out ground war known as the Cold War. Welcome, everybody, to the YouTube Saints. We got LowRes back with us tonight.
Happy to be here, fellas. Thank you for bringing me back for the 3rd time now.
Hell yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, you're a show and a fan favorite. and well, you just tickle us pink. So
He's a good boy.
I know. Every time I think of you, my pussy just starts to quiver, like a little butterfly. Whew.
Oh, see?
It's very intimate, very personal. Also, I appreciate you guys covering the news that I'm being sued by Tom Selleck, apparently. This is news to me.
Oh, yeah. His legal team reached out to us early. We've got those inside tracks ever since I, went down on Harvey Weinstein that one time. It's amazing what kind of doors that'll open.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. No, he's, it's the... Well, see, Burt Reynolds, it was initially a class action suit, but then Burt Reynolds died, so now the stash continuum exists only within the soul of Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
So,
Thank God.
Best of luck.
I've been peeved ever since they turned me down for that reboot of Magnum P.I. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, Christ. I mean, can you believe they went with Chris Pine? I don't know if they actually went with Chris Pine, but it's a safe bet these days that's just
No.
It goes.
It's I think his name is Jay Hernandez from Hostel. That was actually he was in Suicide Squad as well.
Actually,
Hernandez.
Top caliber actor there.
Who was
You know
in
what
Suicide Squad?
was he the fire guy?
Yeah, El Diablo, I think his name was.
Yeah, that he was the really well-developed character in that particular film. The one they really went in and really let you get a feel for what was going on.
Trying to empathize with the guy who killed his children, who burnt his children to death. Yeah, that was a very interesting, creative choice, I think.
Listen, man, the DCU is dark. You can't tell an artist how to art, and you can't tell a dark. Never mind.
That's right. But, yeah. Wow. Oof. Hey, we're starting off on light topics tonight, so fantastic. I'm still utterly shocked that anybody remembers that movie, because I never remember that it exists until it comes up in conversation.
Suicide Squad? You mean the Oscar winner Suicide Squad? How about those Oscars, fellas?
Oh my God.
I hear they don't have a host.
It's true. They don't have a host.
It is true. And yet, well, you know why? I mean, everyone's going to try and spin it in that because everybody's a human being and made an off-color joke at one time, that's why we don't have an Oscar host. The truth is that nobody actually wanted to be the one to introduce Best Picture when a fucking MCU movie won it. That's what's going to happen. Everybody already knows Black Panther's in the fucking bag, and they're like, I don't want to be the one to introduce that. No.
Do you actually think Black Panther's going to take it?
I'd never. Any other year, I'd say, that's not stupid. This year, I see them planning for it, winning with a giant Wakanda-themed Broadway-style musical number on the stage. Billy Crystal and Whoopi Goldberg are just going to be sitting in the audience this is what happened to it?
It's interesting. I would probably agree with you, but I mean, I'm thinking about it like this. If Black Panther were to win Best Picture, would that be the worst outcome? Would that be as bad as them creating a category such as popular film for that to win? Which I'm glad they didn't go with ultimately, because that could have just... It would have made the Oscars even more out of touch, I think.
I forgot about that, yeah. The popular movie. The Oscar for popular movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What does that even mean?
It's a movie that, listen, I mean, it takes an enormous brain to really tap into that cultural zeitgeist. You got to have your thumb and forefinger on the pulse of the nation. You got to squeeze until it can't breathe anymore.
Let me tell you something. We are not a progressive and woke society until we have the Oscar for Best YouTube Original, and you know what's going to happen. And Jake Paul is going to nail it. He's going to nail it. He's going to get an Oscar.
Oh, we can only hope so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I personally think that the Oscar for Best Documentary really needs to go on that 9.5 part Jake Paul sociopath series Shane Dawson did. I mean, because can you imagine that acceptance speech?
Look, all I know is we were entering into the era of this gay earth, and everybody was afraid, and then we're like, actually, it's not that bad. And then you're like, okay, well, it can't get any worse than this. We are now officially in the era of this dumb fucking earth. And there will be a YouTube Oscars or something of the kind. The Oscars will get an online production deal of some sort.
Zeitgeist for Best Picture, perhaps. I don't know.
I might be mistaken here, but I was watching your movie sucks Best Picture recap.
Mm-hmm.
I may be because I was trying to do 1,000 things at the time, but I believe that there is a YouTube original film that is up for an award right now.
Really? What award? Are we talking actual? We're not talking about Oscars though. We're talking about what, like
No,
a good old fashioned Razzie?
No. Well, I mean, I would hope so. I mean, every time I like hear the Shorty Awards, I think it's just like some dude hollering out of a car in the early 2000s saying, "Hey, Shorty." But yeah, I believe I saw something about that.
I'm looking it up.
Is it like a short film, or?
It might be like a short film that originated on YouTube or something like that.
It was The Thinning.
It was not the It was not the fucking Thinning, dude. I swear to God.
There's an interesting subculture brewing of YouTube filmmakers who have tried and not really succeeded. Like a good anthology of films there, like the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, that unwatchable piece of shit.
That was pretty bad.
The Red Letter Media guys, they're great at making shows for YouTube, but
you dare talk shit about Space Cop.
Space Cop was so bad.
Space Cop was amazing.
It wasn't even good bad. It was just bad. A third of it was good bad. A third of it like nailed what they wanted to do, but the problem was the other 2/3 like
wasn't enough.
Yeah, if you chop the whole thing down to a single normal length Red Letter Media video, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it's the whole like, I mean, and this is one of the things, like I love those guys' humor. They're really clever guys. They're really smart. They're really funny. But then, like, they have this gag that they, for some reason, think is hilarious to just drag out every time. It's like, oh, I'm just going to knock stuff off the tape. Oh, I knocked the thing off the wall. Oh, God.
So, chat saying the YouTube series Lizzie Bennett Diaries got a Primetime Emmy. So, I mean, that's not bad. But, I mean, that's TV. So,
yeah,
that's a bit different.
Fuck, yeah, when's the last time TV's ever come out with anything good? Fuck you, Netflix.
I mean, that is actually, I look at that as significant, though. I mean, but I also don't know a whole lot about that series. So maybe if it's in like the same league as Cobra Kai, which was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of explainable, I guess.
Well, the disconnect, though. The disconnect really comes, though, because like when you think of online content, you think of shit. You basically think of like the new indie, right? That's where people who couldn't get studio backing, can't get big budgets, any of that shit. They make their shit on a shoestring budget, put it on the internet. And now it's like I've been joking. YouTube is really desperate to become Netflix. Like they're like, hey, what creators are you excited to see this year? And I'm like, Will Smith for sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing though: the internet bleeding into real life is always really interesting, especially when it gets like mainstream acceptance. For instance, it only had a limited release so far, but it's coming out to larger ones soon. There's a movie called Arctic with Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's all about like a survival, experience in the frozen Arctic North. The thing is, the guy who made that, the whole reason he made that movie and managed to make that movie was because of Reddit. Because he had this idea and he was like, hey, Reddit, I have this idea for this movie. How do I make a movie? And they were like, well, this is what you do and this is what you do. And hey, let me talk to my cousin. And he just got all the connections together and had a screenplay. And he wrote and directed the fucking thing and got Mads fucking Mikkelsen. Because people, through a campaign, people were like, Mads, you should be in this. And he was like, okay.
That is hitting the fucking lottery there, because I mean I'm sure like LowRes here can attest to anytime, especially on the internet, someone's like, hey, I got this idea for a movie. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yes, go ahead. I'm just gonna play say anything in the background.
Yeah. I will say there's another YouTuber that's out there. His name escapes me. Oh, actually, yeah, no, I forgot it again. But his movie got recommended to me on Amazon Prime, and it's called Lover. Does anybody know anything about this movie? I forget the guy's name on YouTube. I don't follow his work, but he had a podcast with Adam from Your Movie Sucks and some other guy. Is it Ralph the Movie Maker?
Was it Ralph's movie? I'm not sure. Let me look real quick.
But I watched
Lover
I
20.
watched the trailer to it, and it
Yeah.
was like
Ralph the Movie Maker, Ralph Sepe Jr. Yeah.
Yep.
Was it any good?
I mean, I didn't watch it. I saw the trailer, and it seemed like a student project. But I thought that was cool that somebody who is on YouTube, regardless of the quality, managed to have their movie recommended to me on Amazon Prime. Like
That's cool.
that's legitimacy.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
it's. I mean, you've seen Side by Side, right?
No.
The Keanu Reeves documentary he made about the switch from like classic film stock to digital cinema.
Oh fuck! I did see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
My favorite part about it was like, so he talks to Scorsese, he talks to like fucking like 100 people you've never heard of who are like Academy Award winning lighting people, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
And the split verdict on that one that everybody seemed to have was that like the evolution of digital cinema is like a double-edged sword, because now every artist with a vision can conceivably make their movie, but if you're gonna find that masterpiece, you're gonna have to wade hip deep through fucking oceans of absolute shit. And as Jamie here, LowRes Mr. Bread. He's from Boston. I'm sure you've had to deal with some of those mass art kids. They got those wonderful, the wonderful thesis film about an art student struggling to get their parents to accept their life choices.
Sure. I mean, I haven't gone out of my way to audition for roles. I know you're an actor, Nick, so you would probably be more familiar with that than I am. I tend to just find a story of my own and do shit.
It's what made me stop seeking roles when I had to come back up from New Orleans. Cause,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
yeah, I landed a couple good, like, interesting films. Amy in a Cage, which is, I believe, again, it's a new cut available to stream on YouTube here. Yeah, well, here's the thing, like fuck, Jeff loves it. I showed it to Anahata Hearts, and she, like, when we were done, she just looks at me and she's like, you could have just, saved time and just punched me in the face. That'd be fine. And
I love it.
yeah,
I love experimental films. I love experimental films.
It's a divisive film. I got, I landed that. I got Ascendance, and then the rest of it was like art students struggling with parents' acceptance shit. I literally came across 6 of those films in one season. I'm like, what? No, fuck it. I'm just gonna write shit and do YouTube from now on. Nah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I mean, there's honestly. Oh, sorry. You can go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you have the means, and the means to me would be an iPhone that can shoot 1080p, and maybe like a Zoom H1, you're better off just trying to mess with things on your own and figure it out for yourself, because to put your image essentially in the hands of these very inexperienced students who are doing their thesis films is I don't know, I think it can be a big waste of time. I mean, you might take away something as an actor, like you might learn something or pick something up on the set of that, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't see
I
it
think
as
unless
that
you're
good.
like you're helping them out, sure, I can kind of see that, but no, I would tend to agree. I will be actually jumping into movie making hopefully this year, but mine's easier. Mine's a documentary, so
That's what you say now.
no, I mean it's gonna be a lot of fucking work. It's gonna be a nightmare, but I'm gonna have to.
Are you at a point to give up some details on this, or is it still very early? And you
Oh no, I'll talk all about it. I mean, the thing is that like you go on Amazon Prime and you're like a couple of clicks away from somebody recommending the movie Vaxxed, which is an anti-vax movie, and it's wildly fucking popular, done on a very very small, crowdfunded budget, very small crowdfunded budget. I think it was done with like $80,000. And that's with them hiring an editor and hiring a director and like blah 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 blah. So I think I could make something just as good, if not better, for way less. Crowdfund most of it and do one basically about the anti-vax cult and their tactics, some of the shit they've done in the past, where all this comes from. So yeah, that's what I'm looking to do.
Don't be afraid to, and it's funny because like I'll shit on film students all day just because it's fun and easy, But at the same time, it's funny because, like, I mean, as an actor, right? Like, or even I've seen other people do it too. Like, you'll say, "Fuck it, I gotta build my reel." You know, I feel like doing a film. You'll go and do this like really just terrible little film shot in someone's grandma's living room, right? Yeah. And then you're like, the whole thing sucks. The script is terrible. You can tell no one on the set really knows what the fuck they're doing. And then you see the final product and you see it's still terrible, except maybe like the color correction is amazing. Or holy shit, how did the editor manage to do that? Because you find out it wasn't or you find out the director is a shit director and terrible writer, but a great editor. And then you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep you in mind for this shit. And then, like, if you don't make anything of your own, you recommend them to other people. But I mean, when you get your footage compiled, don't be afraid to like roll through a film school or something and just watch a bunch of their films and be like, oh my god, this is bad. Wow, what was that? That was good. I gotta find out who did that, and then you bring them on and be like, "Hey, course credit, kid."
Well, all I know is fucking not that I want to compare myself to the man, but Michael Moore was only a year younger than me when he made Roger and Me, his first documentary, and it was wildly successful. And if he did a good one first, then he could do another one. The only thing that I don't know how to do, well, one, I need crew, and then two, I don't know how, once I have the fucking thing made, how to sell it. So I gotta like learn that whole bullshit.
I mean, most people don't know how to do that. I mean, you have to go through all kinds of festivals and hope you get a break, and then hope some like anybody related to distribution will get in contact with you. It's a very difficult and confusing process.
Yeah, actually, Jeff, and on that note, and like no joke or anything. When you get to that point, let me know, because I'll introduce you to the princess. Okay. And I've talked about the princess before. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, the documentary she shot, and it's funny because he says use an iPhone, right? Like I've been in two documentaries technically, but they were both cut from the same cloth. And yeah, she filmed the entire thing on her iPhone. Just traveled the country.
Technically, I was in a documentary with Jordan Peterson.
That one worked out well.
Did you guys see that?
An entire country thinks I'm a neo-Nazi.
Oh God!
Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Oof. He was in a documentary called Hoaxed that just recently came out.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that one?
I haven't seen it. No. Did you watch it?
I did watch it, and I'll tell you what, it was pretty good, but it relied a whole lot on pond5.com.
What's
that?
A
stock footage website.
Oh,
what
no.
What is that?
A stock footage website.
Yeah.
Oh!
So real quick, I wanted to read this. Pizza Overlord donated $50. Says, I just finished watching everything on Jeff's main channel, working my way through Nick's, and this is the first YouTube Saints I've watched live. I love what you do and hope it never stops. Thank you very much, Pizza Overlord. That's very kind.
Yeah. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the last thing I put out most of all. I gotta say, actually, last time you were on, Rez, you were saying like people who are obsessive about Chapo Trap House are people I watch out for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just randomly listening to one of their things, and like somebody commented like, President Trump is basically Master Shake. I'm like, I can make that happen in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I did.
But if you like what we do, you got to check out LowRes Wünderbred, because like I've said before, I said it in my favorites video, you are a YouTuber's YouTuber.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, like me and Nick and Justin Wang, we're fucking all obsessed with your shit. Like, you make good stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that a whole lot. I do have I have a new thing coming out this time next week called Comfort Systems, which is going to be a program that I have the first episode completed of. I'll be putting it out on my main channel, and then the rest will be put out on lowres.live, which is my website, and you can find everything there that I have done. So all kinds of like 20-something short films that I either directed or starred in or produced.
Yeah,
all comedy shit.
Yeah, well, I remember you hit me up for a project that just dematerialized, huh?
Well, there's some behind-the-scenes shit there I should inform you on maybe after the show. Yeah, there's some other stuff going on as well, but you know, I'm sure both of you guys will be involved in something that I'm doing.
Well, actually, and it kind of connects to something we'll get to later in the show, but actually is an interesting random DM that I got. So I know Jeff does LowRes. You know Dr. Brandon McCam, right?
No, I don't think so.
You will by the end of the show. Anyway,
Okay.
I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess he's possibly planning a sojourn from the UK out to our area here. And I'm sure once you familiarize yourself with what he does, you'll be real excited to put some kind of collab together. It'll be a good time.
Oh boy.
So, anything else to catch up on before we get into the news, Jeff?
I'm still sick, but whiskey is my life. Whiskey is my life.
That was
That's
the
all.
thing.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to sing. No, that's it. Oh
Get the
no!
karaoke.
Actually, shit. I'm about to enter the brave new world of DSLRs.
Oh boy. Fun.
Yeah, no, me and the wife were laughing about it in the car today because we're driving around on a mission for some A&W because the closest one is like 40 minutes away. And I was like, shit, we have this new DSLR. I'm going to have to learn how to do it. Like, I don't know what the fucking ISO is. I don't know what the fuck exposure means. I don't know any of this shit. And she's like, how in the fuck do you have 100,000 subscribers and you never went to a photography class? I'm like, because honestly, wife, I never wanted to do this. I wanted to work in a fucking lab and be nice and quiet. I didn't want people to pay attention to me. I never wanted any of this.
I'm
This is
kind
not my
of
idea.
surprised. I'm surprised to hear that you don't already use a DSLR. Your quality is very good. But what kind of camera do you use, or have you used thus far? Then
For the really simple shot videos that don't involve a whole lot of like scene changes or anything like that. Like the last one that I did is honestly just really good lighting and an old like a 720p webcam upscaled,
Wow.
and it looks fine. The other ones I was using two JVC camcorders, and they weren't cheap camcorders either. But you know, you can't really dial them in like you can DSLR. You can't like get different lenses or anything like that. So that's what I've mostly been using is those and a really nice expensive Tascam for my sound. So stepping
Well,
it up.
if I could give you one tip as far as that ISO goes, it's just keep it as low as possible and rely on all kinds of lighting for that, and you will get a good picture out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got like 8 lights, like 8
is it?
studio lights, like all over the place. Like behind all this is just lights and fucking more green screens. Like my whole life is a green screen.
You break in the fourth wall. Well, actually, that would be the fifth wall. No, that'd be the second wall. You're breaking walls, Jeff. Come on, people are like we're here in the studio in New Orleans live.
I'm snapping walls like Hyman's, bitch.
Kool-Aid Man, you know.
That's right.
That took a moment for me to catch up with. All right.
All right. Let's get to the news. Fuck it. This is a good one. The first article is all about. Oh shit! Fuck. Let me make sure this is actually working. The fuck? Nope.
And
Sure isn't.
remember, we're not on Twitch, so we don't need to praise him here.
Oh no, I know. Oh, I know we don't. Here we go. Yeah, everything for some reason completely lost its perspective on this goddamn thing. Okay. Here we go. Our first article tonight is apparently all about dicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Look at that one.
All right.
Look at that uncircumcised human being.
What a beautiful head.
Oh, shit. Wait, I wanna...
And the thing is if you rub it enough, it'll spit at you.
What do you think made them decide to choose that photo of Jeff Bezos?
Oh, totally arbitrary. It wasn't for any reason whatsoever.
Well, this is a video.
Oh, so
Yeah.
just happenstance. He just naturally looks that way.
Just that natural pause game that everybody seems to have, you know.
Yeah.
You can never pause a video in anything that looks dignified. And in this one, he looks like he's about to like turn slowly into the grimace.
He kind of looks like shit. He looks like a Bond villain with anorexia.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, like Blowfield woke up one morning and he was like, I just don't like how I look in the mirror. And decided...
To me, he comes across as like a Dana Carvey in The Master of Disguise.
Oh my god! You mean the classic snubbed at the Oscars movie, Master of Disguise? You're talking about the Turtle Man, too.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. I'm gonna find a picture of that. God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, he does look like a Bond villain with alopecia. I'll agree to that.
Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ. Of course this has to happen.
Oh,
All right.
I thought that was obnoxiously offensive.
This is too perfect. Hang on. There we go.
Yeah, there we Jeff
Wow.
Bezos.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Richest man in the world.
The fuck, Jeff
Bezos.
All right.
That is. I'm looking. I got them both up on my screens now. I'm like, yeah, that is. It's like a pair. I guess he went out and got LASIK surgery, and that's like all he did.
This is my life now. It's just surgery, hair removal. All right. Anyway, national. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, somebody asked Dana Carvey to autograph that photo. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
It would be like me going up to Eddie Murphy, like, oh my God, Eddie Murphy, I'm a huge fan. I love Raw. I love everything that you've done. You're a goddamn superstar. 48 Hours, it's incredible. Will you please sign this picture of Pluto Nash?
Yeah.
or just running up to Hugh Grant and being like, listen, man, I'm a big fan. Can you give me a lift and then tell everyone that that's all you did?
It goes way back. Nobody remembers that.
Oh, I know.
Wow! Holy fuck, we're old. Damn. Yeah. Oh my God. All right. Anyway, so
I just love the fact that before we even jump too into this, I love the fact that next to this aging Dana Carvey still shot we've got this lending tree ad on the side of it, and it just says 30-year fixed, and it's like, is that what that means?
I guess so. National Enquirer is reporting on Jeff Bezos under scrutiny by federal prosecutors. This comes to us via CNN. With Jeff Bezos accusing American Media Incorporated of attempting extortion and blackmail, the company's legal troubles are just beginning. Federal prosecutors are once again examining the conduct of American Media, or AMI for short, which owns the National Enquirer and other magazines. Last year, the company's CEO, David Pecker, and Chief Content Officer Dylan Howard struck an immunity deal with federal prosecutors. In exchange, they cooperated in the hush money case that ensnared Michael Cohen and implicated President Trump. Wow, this goes deep. It's all about it's all about a dick pic, and we're talking now about like hush money and ensnaring the president.
Any dick pic, okay? This is the Amazon Prime of dick pics, okay? This is like, wow. You order it and it'll be delivered within 2 days, guaranteed. And then you can just watch The Expanse once you're done to sort of cleanse the palate. Yeah. This is great. And it's a funny thing too, is because how much do we hear about fake news? Like, to anybody over 30, when you hear fake news, if you can separate all the Trump bullshit, like National Enquirer should be one of the first things you go to. It's a step above Bat Boy is in love with Wolf Girl, and we've got the story, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But no, spit laughing. Jesus.
This is serious news business. This isn't none of that fake news shit. Listen, this is serious business. The AMI. They've got an acronym, so they're a serious company. They're not just a tabloid anymore. No.
All right. The AMI deal contains standard language that said if the company committed any crimes in the future, AMI shall thereafter be subject to prosecution. In other words, the deal would be off. Now, Bezos is alleging that a crime is taking place. In a Blockbuster blog post titled, "No Thank You, Mr. Pecker," Bezos on Thursday evening accused Pecker of an extortion and blackmail attempt. He backed up his extortion charge with copies of what he said were multiple emails from American Media. Prosecutors in the Southern District of New York are reviewing the National Enquirer's handling of their Bezos reporting to determine if the company may have violated last year's deal, two sources familiar with the matter told CNN. Spokesperson for Bezos declined to comment on whether he contacted the FBI. The company responded to Bezos by saying in a statement on Friday morning that American Media believes fervently that it acted lawfully in reporting the story of Mr. Bezos. Further, at the time of the recent allegations made by Mr. Bezos, it was in good faith negotiations to resolve all matters with him. Nonetheless, in light of the nature of the allegations, the board has convened and determined that it should promptly and thoroughly investigate the claims. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So it boils down to this.
It's a dick pic.
It boils down to this. The Inquirer has embarrassing photos and texts of Bezos and his girlfriend, Lauren Sanchez. When the Inquirer was about to reveal the existence of the relationship last month, Bezos and his wife, author Mackenzie Bezos, announced that they were divorcing after a long period of loving exploration and trial separation. They were swingers.
Yeah.
The Inquirer's story hit later that day. Bezos put a security chief in charge of an investigation. They were troubled by the probe and public matters about it. So
Wait,
they said
the
they had
public
more of my
matter-
text messages and photos they would publish if we didn't stop our investigation. And he calls that extortion and blackmail. Oh, dear.
I'm just wondering specifically what probing are they discussing and who's making it public? Because, I mean, I kind of tuned out there for a second. So, is there a video out there floating around of Jeff Bezos probing his wife with
Or his girlfriend.
Amazon products, or his girlfriend with Amazon products?
God,
It's like-
that would be a way better Amazon review show. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it's just like I want to see what the mic sensitivity to this mini Alexa unit is. So, honey, just take deep breaths. There we go. Yeah, comfortable. All right, Alexa, play Despacito.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say Despacito.
If you've stuffed an audio device up inside of a woman, what else are you gonna ask it to play?
Look. All right. Listen. You have not heard Despacito as the artist intended until you've heard it coming out of a cunt. Aight? That's artistic
Exactly.
license right there in action, ladies and germs.
Watch, like, his experimentation was like, I've been getting together with loose women, so I'm experimenting with different audio cavities. It's basically like building a bass box for your CRX, you know?
God damn it.
It's got to find the right birth canal with the right acoustics.
I mean, that's one way you could get the deaf to enjoy music.
Crank up the bass.
Yeah.
Put it inside him.
There you go. I mean, an Amazon Echo is a little bit too big, though.
Listen, I mean, my ex-girlfriend, like, you know, in addition to me being inattentive, she did say that me trying to put a Bose sound system inside of her was one of the central reasons we couldn't be together anymore. So good on you, Mr. Bezos, for proving that actually works. We're going to get sued by Amazon tomorrow, aren't we?
Probably, yeah. I mean, do you guys remember the movie Howard Stern's Private Parts?
Yes. Yeah.
Fantastic film. But I'm having flashbacks to the one where the big titty MILF is straddling the speaker and Howard is making love to her through the speaker. But now with an Amazon Echo inserted? Oh.
Placed lovingly
explored.
Lovingly explored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, this is why Elon Musk is going to get pissed off, because he's going to be like, I thought I was the one exploring the nether reaches of the universe.
I feel like this story is actually upsetting me now.
And it's great, because everything that's upsetting you has nothing to do with the actual story.
I know. Given Pecker's longtime friendship with the president, the Inquirer's role in catching and killing stories to help Trump, and Bezos' presence on Trump's enemies list, many commentators have speculated about a potential Trump connection in this case, but it's just speculation. Wouldn't that be just so fucking wonderful? Like the smoking gun, like, okay, sure, maybe he colluded with the Russians, maybe, but like the thing that gets him prosecuted would be like, well, Mr. President, you were in fact complicit in a conspiracy to release a dick pic for a billionaire. Marvelous.
Yeah. It's well, I mean, this is, it's like 2019. We're getting off to a great start when, like, I think he's the world's richest man right now, isn't he?
Until his divorce, yeah.
Until
his divorce, yeah. Yeah,
He
and
actually-
then
well,
he's going to be one half of the world's richest man.
There's theorizing right now that potentially Vladimir Putin might be richer than him. He might actually be the richest person in the world because of his control of resources. But as far as like actual legit monetary wealth, I think it's Bezos. Yeah.
Right.
I'll just say when Bill Gates went about stuffing things into people, like nobody ever heard about it because he knew how to do it discreetly. So, Mr. Bezos, listen, I mean, like we'd never dare talk about this on our Twitch channel because reasons, but because partnership. No, this is a good start to 2019, like a national scandal centered around a billionaire's dick pics. I mean, you can't ask for more.
True. Yeah,
Could.
no, it's
But what would be the point?
wacky ass.
I mean,
shit.
are we sure that this just isn't an effort on Bezos' part to seem more relatable to us, like how Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan and Jack Dorsey on there, and Rogan's getting some flack over that.
Oh my God, we're like our very next story is all about Joe Rogan. We'll fucking jump into that.
Honestly,
in a sec.
how
God.
dare Joe Rogan try and humanize a creature like Jack Dorsey? 'Cause, I mean,
Let's jump into that right away. But real quick, Sergeant Buck says, "I will never be able to unsee Jeff Bezos in a fucking turtle suit." I feel that. One Canuck says, "You get Alexa to play I Want to Know What Love Is." If anybody out there is listening through speakers, Alexa, play I Want to Know What Love Is.
now put that Alexa inside your body.
Yeah, do it. Do it right now. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
We are, by the way, full disclaimer, we are not responsible for any bodily injury or psychological injury that results as well, you doing that, but go ahead and do it.
Okay. So I really do want to jump into this next article though, because you're caught up on all this, Rez.
Oh yeah, that's all I do is I watch all of these fellows and I pay close attention.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Alex Jones and Joe Rogan are in the midst of a hilarious feud. So rather than the article, do you want to catch all of us up?
Yeah, let's break down.
So apparently, Joe Rogan has had some qualms with Alex Jones for a little bit. It's been a long time brewing because of that whole Sandy Hook thing, where Alex Jones did at least insinuate that Sandy Hook was a false flag, and that led to a big whole shitstorm. But it wasn't really revealed or talked about publicly, on a grand scale anyway, until the time he got banned on Twitter. And then Joe Rogan's like, all right, I don't like that he did this. I don't know if I can bring him back on my show now. And he ultimately decided he wasn't going to have Alex Jones on his show. And they have been feuding ever since, which is kind of interesting when you consider that they were both fairly tight. Like, they're real friends, and they have been for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And now Alex Jones is making some very wild statements on his show. I mean, even for Alex Jones, he's saying, like, I mean, you better watch yourself when you get in your car tomorrow. You know, he's being extra.
Yeah.
And also, and accusing, Rogan is now part of the Soros
The
plot.
CIA. I mean,
The
he's being
CIA
hired.
Soros plot
Yep.
to protect the interdimensional child molesters who are now populating the Democratic Party, the globalists as they might be, trying to spread those interdimensional child molesters, all interdimensional space demon child molesters, all around the globe, using Soros money so that every child can feel the warm embrace of that aging Nazi.
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually, do you guys have the My Circle link open? It should be in the chat of the Skype call.
Let me take a
So
look.
Joe Rogan made a video after a lot of this is coming out, and Alex Jones is basically saying he's a CIA plant, blah 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 blah, all sorts of crazy ass shit. And Joe Rogan basically was like, I think Alex Jones is in a bad place. Alex, I still like you. If I saw you in the street, I would give you a hug. Well, Alex did not respond well to this at all. This is some fucking amazing shit.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Now, I don't know exactly where this is, because it's like a 35-minute long clip. But parts of this, actually, the very beginning, like, has kind of a medley of some of his answers. So let's check a little bit of this out.
Alex
Okay.
Jones is
We're echoing through you, I think, again, Nick.
Me?
having to like respond to people
Yeah.
that want to know if I've seen what Alex Jones has said about me lately is one of the weirder things that I've dealt with. Because, first of all, I've always had good dealings with Alex in person to person. But he's obviously in a world of shit right now. There's a lot going on with him with this Sandy Hook stuff.
We're come back. No, I'm in a world of victory.
I'm in a world of victory.
Joe, I don't just put that as a good face. I'm in the fight with the dragon, boy. And so I told you, because you become their darling, that you're now the enemy. And I told you clear. I said, you don't need to have me on. Just stop sucking George Soros's ding-a-ling, or I'm coming after you. I told you. I mean, you couldn't write this stuff the way Joe does it. The way these devils think they're so smart, they have nothing. He literally says, I don't follow talking points. I follow Media Matters that's owned and run by George Soros.
You know what's great, too? We could play a bunch of this, and, like, we can't get DMCA'd for it because he's not on YouTube!
No, it's true, except hang on, the young Indian chap in the corner there, he's on YouTube.
Yeah, but he stole it. Fuck him.
That's some meta-level DMCA shit, though.
That's true.
Twitter.
That's another thing that Alex Jones brought up today, that he sponsors the podcast through the Cash App, which he also runs. It's 100% true. But I would have, and I think we talked about it on the podcast.
No, you didn't talk about it. You didn't tell people everything you do is a damn sponsor, and you don't tell them. I don't like you. I'm guilty I was ever nice to you. I knew you were bad news 20 years ago. I should have ignored that. Yeah, you're a charming guy.
Now, I gotta ask.
War, Joe. I want war. I don't want to be nice. I want to be cleansed of you. Comprende?
Now, Jeff?
Yeah.
It tastes kind of familiar, this whole thing of like, hey, you know, running a show, made the mistake of bringing a dumb fuck batshit crazy lunatic on my show at one time, and yeah, we were friends, but what the fuck is going on now? Familiar, isn't it?
It's kind of familiar, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I just wish it could have been with Alex Jones, though, or somebody like that, because, like, you know, it's... How can Joe Rogan actually lose this war that Alex is declaring on him?
He says at one point, Alex says at one point, look here, Joe Rogan, I'm going to string you up by your ankles. I'm going to cut you open and rip out your entrails. Politically. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, you know what, you guys know what that harkens back to. This is Alex Jones ripping off fucking Coppercat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to smash you! Verbally!
Yeah. I'm going to fucking sodomize your mother! Verbally!
It's interesting to me because I think a lot of people are using Alex Jones as a proxy to try to tear down Joe Rogan, because for about a month or so, he's been getting ratioed to hell on his YouTube videos. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there are a lot of videos where it's thousands and thousands of thumbs down, even more so than thumbs up. Hateful comments. You know, Joe Rogan has been on the shit list for a little bit now. So I don't know. Alex Jones could win this battle, if you will, just by that default. But I mean, I don't know. I think it really depends on how the next Jack Dorsey interview goes.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, let's keep in mind, though. I mean, yeah, like, all right. So if we're comparing Rogan and Jones, that is kind of apples and oranges. Like, Rogan's just the sort of dude who's like, yeah, man, yeah, that's fucking wild. Oh, yeah, I'll listen to anything. Jones is like, interdimensional child molesters are coming to rape my kids so that they'll vote Democrat or some shit, right?
Well, I mean, that first Alex Jones interview on Joe Rogan in 2017, that was transformative. That was amazing.
Hilarious, yeah. But keep in mind, Joe Rogan is a guy who flirted with believing in Bigfoot long enough to where Alex Jones. No, I'm just saying that Alex Jones would naturally come into his orbit. You know, it's the natural cycle. This is the slippery slope of conspiracy theory bullshit. Because you know, it's like one day you're saying maybe Bigfoot's real, and the next day, like, you got a guy wanting to cut your entrails open because you're not gonna help him dissect frogs to determine what sex they are.
Well, I think a fantastic example of that, what you're talking about, the slippery slope there, is I don't know if you guys know who he is, but Owen Benjamin went from essentially a Joe Rogan type guy to an Alex Jones type guy, and you can't watch his streams now without him talking about how the moon landing was fake. And it's just like, I came here for comedy a year ago. What the fuck is this now?
Yep.
Excuse my language.
No, the dude, Owen Benjamin has been losing his fucking mind, his mind. Like the cautionary tale of if you go too far into politics, like in one direction, you might fall off a cliff. Dude fell off a cliff and he's still rolling. He's still rolling, and it's a slow descent into madness, which is too bad. Because a year ago, I thought Owen Benjamin was hilarious.
Sure, yeah, and now it's just like, is this gonna go the way of Bud Dwyer or Chris Benoit? You know, you look at his eyes, and it's
Oh my god,
pure insanity in those eyes. It frightens me.
God. It is really fucking scary. My friend Biotech Babe mentioned that my good friend Mike Adams, the health ranger, got Alex Jones off of Twitter, which I'm actually rather happy about. If you guys do you guys know who Mike Adams is?
I do not.
No.
Okay, he runs a website called naturalnews.com. The dude also goes on InfoWars and hangs out with Dr. Group, Alex Jones' pet little fucking monkey doctor. And they try and sell you brain force and talk about like the eugenics program. We got the white papers. This is the chemical castration of America. And Mike Adams is like, oh yeah. Also, aspiring rap artist. I'm gonna find that.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's an aspiring rap artist. I'm gonna find that video.
If there's one thing I really love about, if there's one thing I love is like I'll get my political news from someone and then I'll discover that they've got the hottest SoundCloud tracks out there.
Yeah. It's always a wise move to do that Bobby Burns turn.
It's a lateral move, really. I mean,
Oh my god, that was way too loud. Holy fuck. Okay. No, yeah. If you want to see a wingnut fucking rapping, holy fucking shit, dude. No, this is great. This is amazing. I'm actually really excited to share this on the Saints because
I'm really excited to watch it.
This is special. Here, I'm gonna turn this
down. It's gonna be
down.
the best shit from If I Was a Hoe.
Shh. Let's not talk about If I Was a Hoe.
And they found that the genes that were inserted into soybeans transferred into the DNA of the bacteria living inside us, and certain varieties of genetically modified corn.
That's right. You want to start out your hardcore rap song with Jeffrey Smith, aka the dance instructor who's telling you how GMOs cause cancer and autism. Good idea.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Oh yeah.
I'm hooked.
Engineered to produce an insecticide living inside us, an insecticide.
I'm looking at the food that's in the grocery store. They say it's safe, everybody eat more. On second thought, I don't really know if it's made with those GMOs. So I'm looking for.
I gotta point this out. I did actually make Billy the Fridge watch this once for Cringe Rap. It didn't go well.
Why do all these guys look the exact same? They all have like that very generic, bland face. Like the guys who try to like make conservatism cool or whatever by infusing it with whatever else. Like Charlie Kirk has that kind of look as well.
Well, he's only got that look in a very, he's in a very little, like sort of very small way because his face is pretty much just right here in the middle of his head.
Sure.
Charlie Kirk looks like he's missing a couple of chromosomes out. Let's be honest. Like, yeah,
and not in that filthy Frank way.
No. This is a little bit more.
So I'm looking for the non-GMO label. Before I bring it home, I put it on the table. I want to know if it's verified, so I don't harm myself with genetically modified. They don't want you to know. Poison they grow. Profits they show. On those GMOs. Seeds that they sow.
Yeah, there's nothing cooler than natural news. There you guys go.
No, I'm proud of this guy though for bringing back the classic tradition of white rappers that existed before Eminem. You know, the whole like, and Jesus is my
neighbor.
Yeah. No, this is classic early '90s white guy rap.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, and except with kind of a trap beat, maybe kinda.
But anyway, so back on track. Back on what we were talking about though. So this. Oh shit. Oh no. Wait. Fuck.
Yeah. So Alex Jones has gone to war with Joe Rogan. He has literally accused him, literally and figuratively, because literally means both things now. Thank you, 2000 teens. Jones has decided that Rogan's reluctance to engage with him is clearly a result of Rogan being pulled off by special interests, i.e. right-wing boogeyman George Soros, who is essentially the Blowfield of the alt-right universe. 2 Blowfield references in one show.
We did it, guys. We did it.
We did it. But when you watch Alex Jones accuse Rogan of repeating, quote, George Soros talking points, it's obvious that Jones isn't trying to spread the truth, or at least his version of it, but rather he seems deeply offended by the fact that his old friend laughs at his interdimensional child molester theories. Joe, how could you? Listen, even if there's nothing to expose, Alex is doing his very best to expose it. And this is just a blatant sign of disrespect. You know, I mean, so what if he thought Bigfoot was real? That doesn't mean that reptiles are creeping through the interdimensional voids left at the bottom of ice cream trucks so that they can kidnap children and fuck them in the basement of Papa John's.
But they are.
But they are. How dare you? How dare you, Joe?
Rez, so like,
Yeah.
at the heart of a lot of this, and maybe I'm alone in this, but I'm kind of curious on your take. I think Jones has always been a wingnut. He's always been kind of dangerously insane. Hi, I Think I'm Real did a good beginning of a documentary on Alex Jones and his early beginnings. He's always been a wingnut. He's never been this bad before, though. Do you think it's because of the Twitter banning?
100%. 100%. I think he feels like his back is against the wall, and he's not, you know, in a lot of ways, it's like when they would shun the person from society back in like you know, these ancient eras, and they'd go off to the woods and become some kind of weird manifest creature that would be you know, half wolfen and like a bear, and then that would be like the town monster. And I think that's what's happened here with Alex Jones, is he's become the Pennywise of the internet.
The Pennywise of the wow, yeah, no, I could totally see it.
I am loving that. That's a very good explanation. I mean, I gotta wonder though, because, like, so I mean, like, he can go in front of a judge during his custody hearing, and I'm not gonna be one of those people that jump on this shit, because I will never make fun of anybody losing their kids, even if like they're batshit crazy like this guy. But well, I mean, went before a judge, went before court, saying like none of it was lawyers, like, this is performance art, right? With this whole thing of him getting banned, I gotta wonder, because when I saw he got kicked off Twitter and kicked off of YouTube, my first thought wasn't like, oh man, like Alex is gonna be upset. More like, all right, especially if he's a performance artist, he's just gonna be like, they proved me right, and even I know I'm not right. This is great.
Well, here's the thing, though. A lot of people take comfort in the idea that Alex Jones is not actually legit. A lot of people do. I talked to a friend of mine, and she has actually been to the InfoWars studios. She's met Alex Jones. She's talked to Alex Jones. And I asked her flat out, I was like, look, I need to know for my own sake, how much of Alex Jones is a character? And she's like, maybe 10%. And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, no, he is insane. He is legitimately, in person, a fucking crazy human being. He is bug fuck.
I think there's a misunderstanding when it comes to these types of guys, that they're swindlers and they are playing a character. And I think they are playing a character to themselves, but I also think they're also actually crazy. And so they think, okay, well, I'm hamming it up here. But there's also aspects that they're not maybe privy to that come off as just a lunatic, you know?
Right.
You see this a lot on like reality TV too, and I'm a connoisseur of the reality television. But like on a show like Survivor, I like the competition shows. You will get types like this where they're acting out and they're crazy and they're insane, and they think they're doing it on purpose, and to a degree they are. But then they're also just like an asshole and insufferable to be around. And I think Alex Jones is one of these types of guys.
I could see that. Yeah.
The one thing that I've always been questioning, though, when it comes to that, is maybe there is a middle ground that we're not actually acknowledging, which is people who have made big careers, right, selling dog shit, begin to fall for that dog shit themselves once they've discovered how much it gets them. I'm not going to say any names. I'm just going to say, look to politically YouTube right now and see what so many of the fucking arcs have been of people starting out saying, oh, I believe in this and I stand for this, and here's a robust argument about that, and then all of a sudden, once it's big money time, once it's big views, big numbers, I'm getting invited to speaking events kind of shit, you start to see them start to actually fall for their own bullshit.
Favorite reality show? Joe Millionaire.
Ooh, classic. That's an old one.
That's a classic, yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would
expand myself.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Bit dry. Bit dry there.
Yeah.
You know.
I like a good reading. You know,
like you never get to see any. You never get to see any of the people have terrible sex. You just hear about it in the papers.
I like reading the paper while my ball game's on. You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Nick, I would actually say, and you know, maybe you have somebody else in mind. I would actually think that's the reverse order, because I don't think a lot of these people have malicious intent when they start out. I think they actually do believe in what they're talking about, and they gradually grow to accept these allowances in bending the truth.
No, you're dead on. No, you're agreeing with me right now. I just think I misrepresented my position.
Yeah, and I think you wind up seeing these people sell out to one degree or another as they gradually grow more famous, because they're just getting used to more eyes on them and more money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And they start to notice, like, I mean, like, I've come to call them crusaders, but I've discovered, like, YouTube political crusaders, by and large, when they hit a level of success, it goes from making compromises, let's say. Huh?
What level is that? I'm just asking for a friend.
It goes from a level of like making compromises and saying like, yeah, you know what, like I'll stream with a fucking white nationalist and give him the floor and let him say what he wants. Maybe they have some points, you know, maybe they have some points and we need to save the West, that kind of shit. And you see it on the other side too. You see people like, you know, these rabbit holes, they go in one direction. And as soon as somebody smells money at the bottom of one of them, the deeper they get, the more dedicated they are to getting to that bottom, no matter what.
And that sounds. I was gonna say that sounds eerily similar to, at least what I know of, because I don't follow Stefan Molyneux's trajectory.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really good example.
That's a fantastic example. Stefan Molyneux had really interesting and intriguing ideas when it came to like the topics of peaceful parenting. Dude was an anti-spanking advocate.
Well, didn't he lead a cult and advocate that people leave their parents behind as well, though?
That's the problem, though. Like, he started out kind of nutty because he talked about defooing. I'm gonna just move us into this thing. Defooing was if your parents and your loved ones don't share your opinions, then you gotta defoo them. You gotta cast them out of your life, and you know, come into my sense of rationalism. But now, someone who used to be a hardcore libertarian is like practically fucking goose stepping.
An authoritarian fucking nightmare. And in the same way, like, and you know what? Like, again, don't even need to say names because everybody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, consider anybody who like flies the flag of classical liberal. Right?
Oh god.
Yeah, any of these classical liberal cunt rags who've like, you know, gained in popularity, look at what they've done. They've discovered that the base, which really drives the interest, is something that they cater to more. And I don't think it's a malicious thing. I don't think it's an intentional thing. I think it's a thing like they inundate themselves with a thing to the point where it just becomes the reality. I noticed this in the culture war. Like the whole culture war bullshit, SJWs are ruining everything. I noticed when I spent enough time doing that, it got to a point where like I would start to actually judge films that I was watching based on the Twitter politics of the people in them or the people making them. It was fucking retarded. I mentioned recently to a friend of mine, he's a friend of the show, and I'm not going to throw him under the bus because he understands, but I told him, like, you need to watch Happy. Happy is amazing. Happy is exactly what you need to watch. And he's like, holy shit, I love it. I can't get over Patton Oswalt though. Like, why the fuck not?
I've had similar experiences. That's one of the reasons why I stopped making content like that, was because things are being ruined for me because of Twitter politics. You know?
Yeah, needlessly.
Yeah. Like I'm watching Eureka lately. And I was like, man, that redhead is a really cool character. Holy shit, I wonder who plays it. Felicia Day. Ah, now I don't like her as much. But wait, but why though?
Yeah.
I could still enjoy the performance while simultaneously not necessarily liking her politics. Like, I'm a grown-ass man.
Well, I think it's twofold, though, because at the same time, these people who are working in Hollywood have felt a call to push their message out into the system and beyond Twitter as well. So it's kind of like, am I getting it this? It's a mixed bag every single time, which sucks. It sucks to have to think that way and have to absorb content that way.
I mean,
It's fucking weird though too, because I remember when I was working in politics, the biggest problem we all had was apathy. Oh, everyone's apathetic. Why won't more people speak out? Now everyone's speaking out, and I'm just like, I wish we could go back.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, I said this to a friend of mine earlier today. It's, you know, I feel like 5 to 10 years ago, everybody was on the train of like, okay, if more people are aware of what's going on, then we'll have a better country, we'll be better off. And I think that is fundamentally false. The dumber this country is, the greater it is. And I recommend everybody go watch First Reformed and take a shot of bleach.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's no genre that is more obvious for this than comic books. Like, it's very, very true. So for instance, like, you know, there was a point in time, and they were really bad about 2 years ago or so, when a lot of Marvel comic books wanted to embrace wokeism, right?
Yeah.
But what was interesting is a lot of people got all up in arms, and they're like, oh my god, these fucking comics and the SJWs and blah, 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 blah. They got all pissed off. Well, the thing was, all those comic books failed. None of them sold good because people didn't like them. So they switched gears, and now the woke comic books that they do, like, for instance, like the latest run of Black Panther is written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, I think is his name.
Ta-Nehisi Coates, yeah.
Yeah. It is well written. It's not really my bag, but the people who aren't interested in what he's writing don't buy it, and the people that are buying it, and there's a whole new realm of people like actually interested in comic books now. So it kind of, the market balanced out the messaging, which I knew was going to happen. You know, like, you can't brute force things, but if you find a way to actually sell a message, then you sell a message, then it becomes successful.
Oh,
there's no insidious infection of identity politics. It's just trial and error.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
No, I think it also comes back to the classic thing, though, that, like, the people who are guiding conversations, think they're guiding conversations, the people who think they're in the real conversations on the internet. You always hear them talk about, how long have people been talking about normies? What everybody forgets is that normies are the people who buy shit. Normies are the people who consume media. Normies are the people who are like, and they're not going to pick up a politically charged comic book or watch a politically charged movie with a message rammed down your throat and say to themselves, like, oh, this goes against my beliefs. They're going to be like, this is boring. Oh, that again. Yeah.
All right, so real quick, Leslie Maxwell says, all right, my loves, how the devil Zarya is? I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic here.
Hey.
You still breathing?
Sean Goat says, first time donor, long time listener. You guys are the best. Never stop doing what you do. You always make my week better. By the way, Jeff, congrats on 100. Wow, thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Jeff. That's awesome.
Well, you know, the truth of the whole thing is that if not for my own stupid ass decisions in life, I probably would hit it a lot fucking faster.
But then Dr. Phil went and made a stupid ass decision.
Yes, he did. And he fucking pulled my ass out of the fire. Dead channel, fuck you, I'm back, bitch. All right, anyway, so
here's in fairness too, because you do pseudoscience. Like, I could probably get the same bump when Maury inevitably pulls me on his show to prove I'm doctor.
Yeah. The DNA tests shows that you are, oh boy, turns to the woman, I'm so sorry, you are the father.
I'll just sit there looking unsurprised, be like, yeah, that was a good night, I'm not surprised.
I'm very fertile, I'm a fertile man. Hey, all right, Oscars 2019 ceremony to go without host after Kevin Hart row. So we started talking about this a little bit. But
we did just have a short conversation about good things being ruined by culture war, but now we get to see bad things being ruined by them, because fuck the Oscars.
Yeah, dude, fuck the Oscars. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. The when was the last time the Oscars were good?
I think when it was Donald Duck who hosted in 1957.
Probably.
Sounds about right. I'm not gonna fact check him.
Because I remember one of the early social commentary videos that I made was I got so fucking pissed off. It was after Will Smith got snubbed at the Oscars for a movie that he did. Here, let me figure out which one
he did. Yeah, because his videos are real good.
Yes, videos. Fuck.
I love it. Recreated the opening scene from Demolition Man.
Right.
Oh.
It wasn't After Earth. I guess it was like the movie Focus. I guess it was Focus or something like that. Like,
what was it? Was it 7 pounds?
Ali.
Because
Pursuit of Happiness.
No.
Pursuit of Happiness, and I know what it was, probably Pursuit of Happiness, because Pursuit of Happiness and 7 pounds were both pure Oscar bait.
He played an African doctor or something like that.
There's 7 pounds, no?
What?
No,
way.
7 pounds. He was an engineer who gave his organs away to people after he killed his own wife.
Was it Collateral Beauty? I don't know. Anyway, but basically he got snubbed at the Oscars, and his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, made this fucking video about how we need to boycott the Oscars because my husband did not get a fucking Oscar, and it was the most obnoxious thing in the world. And that was the first time I really paid attention to it, but I really stopped and thought about it. I'm like, when did I ever give a shit about the Oscars? Ever? Maybe 90s? Like, I remember getting excited for Schindler's List. Wow, wait, hang on.
That's a good soundbite there.
Do not take that soundbite out of context. Don't you dare.
Baked Alaska.
God
all right?
damn it.
It's fucking... I will say, though, Azure Phoenix in the chat that says they told you it stopped being good back when James Spader was still doing movies.
Oh, wow. James Spader really hasn't been doing any movies, has he?
Oh, he does The Blacklist now, which is, honestly, the best parts of The Blacklist are summed up in YouTube videos featuring James Spader. It's like, yeah, I want to see Captain Marvel as an FBI agent that doesn't smile.
He got old, he got bald, and he got fat, so he sticks to television where nobody's watching him. So.
Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about that. Yeah.
That's the great thing about him. He got weirder. He got more eccentric. He's like, I'm too fat to really give a shit anymore. So let's just roll the cameras, and if I'll just agree with you that there's a script somewhere, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, so here's the thing though. The older James Spader gets, doesn't his voice start to sound more and more like John Lithgow?
I would have to listen to something, but I could totally see that.
He's turning into John Lithgow. He absolutely is.
He's turning into John Lithgow with like a more and more distinct cadence. It's like his cadence is being distilled over the years. I can't even remember the film, but there's a film where he plays an assassin, and his whole thing is he like runs a little stopwatch, and gives everybody like 60 seconds to say something and do something before he kills them. And I watched that clip recently. I forgot what movie it was from, and I'm like, it's the same cadence, but as he's getting older, it's slowing down and getting better. It's like going from tree sap to proper molasses.
Thank you, Crab90. It was Concussion. Will Smith plays Dr. Bennett Omalu. That's right, Concussion.
Yeah. I think my favorite James Spader would probably be Less Than Zero, where he's prostituting Robert Downey Jr. into blowing old men. Love that.
Yes, no, that's a good one. That's a really good one. My favorite John Lithgow has to be The Life of Garp, where he plays a former footballer turned trans woman.
Whoa.
Yeah. John Lithgow's got range.
That's almost as much of a stretch as him playing Winston Churchill.
Seriously, The Life of Garp. The only thing better than the movie The Life of Garp is the book Life of Garp. That fucking thing is amazing. Holy fuck. That's like one of the best books I've ever read, and it's a great Robin Williams movie. Holy fuck.
Miles Swan did just bring up, and I will say, like, I would honestly say I think James Spader playing Ultron might have been the best part of the MCU. Period.
No, not even close. And it's honestly the only tolerable part of Avengers 2 because that movie sucked.
It did.
terrible.
Except James Spader's playing a mass murdering robot.
God, awful! What a fucking
Party-
terrible movie. I think that movie single-handedly contributed to superhero burnout.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that was a big misfire, and it felt like, to me anyway, and this could have just been because Joss Whedon took over as director, but Justice League repeated a lot of those points from Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Almost verbatim, and it was just like, why would you do this?
Yeah,
Nothing about this works.
Joss Whedon is awful. He's not a good filmmaker. He's fucking terrible.
Oh, certainly not.
Absolutely, I can't. I can't fucking stand it.
If only Roseanne was still on the air.
The World According to Garp. Didn't I say The World According to Garp? I don't know what I was saying.
Yeah.
I was saying The Life of Garp. Yeah, The World According to Garp. I'm sorry, The World According to Garp. Good book, good movie. Yeah, no, Age of Ultron was fucking garbage. Jesus Christ.
It was. You know who they need to bring back? I think this will really fix the Marvel burnout problem. Is Mickey Rourke from Iron Man 2 and his board. You know, that was really masterclass acting.
I want the board.
I'm sorry, I gotta hand this real quick.
Put Mickey Rourke in anything.
I love Mickey Rourke, and I'm still pissed that they snubbed him at the Oscars for The Wrestler over Sean Penn's
my God.
unforgettable performance.
Yes.
Milk.
Dude, he was so fucking good in The Wrestler. Holy shit.
And just think, like, a couple of years before that, he's doing, like, direct-to-DVD shit, and then he has, like, a real comeback, and they are such snobs. They did the same thing with Michael Keaton when he was in Birdman. They gave it to Eddie Redmayne because he played transgender. Oh, no. Sorry, Stephen Hawking. He played Stephen Hawking.
Oh, yeah,
Was that... Oh, that was for, what was that? Everything.
The Theory of Everything.
The Theory of Everything.
Which was... That was fucking... Honestly, I watched The Theory of Everything, and, like, technically, it was a beautifully made film.
It was good. He did really good.
In terms of a story that I was following, I had to really force myself to give a shit.
Yeah.
I really did. I loved it, but honestly, like, he did a really good job, but Birdman was better.
Absolutely.
Birdman was a brilliant movie through and through. It was a great film, and it was a great movie. Because it was a great film in that it was masterfully made, well acted, well written, beautifully shot, beautifully edited. Everything about it was perfect. And then it was a good movie because it was the kind of thing you could just put on, sit and watch and be entertained by.
For sure. They don't like comebacks. Michael Keaton, right before that, he's doing Herbie Fully Loaded. And then he gets Birdman, he's back on top, and they're like, I don't think so.
Although he came back with Spotlight right after that, and that was fucking dope.
Oh, yeah. He has stayed on. Mickey Rourke has not.
No, yeah.
I gotta ask though, in terms of Mickey Rourke, I don't know. I think Jeff, I think you've told me you haven't seen it, but maybe LowRes has. But you guys, let me know. Have you seen Barfly?
Yes. Yeah, I love Barfly.
That was that was the film which, like, before I'd even actually ever heard him speak on a YouTube video, that was what cemented the notion of Charles Bukowski in my mind.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke plays Henry Chinaski. My favorite fucking line from him is like, he's bleeding out of the fucking head because Faye Dunaway hit him with her purse that had a fucking brick in it and left him in the apartment, and then he's just staring at himself confused in the mirror. He's like, some people never go crazy. What terrible lives they must lead. I'm like, hey, we're talking. This is the Bukowski I'm used to. I did want to throw this out real quick, though, before we move on to anything. But Lexi, good old Lexi, love our Lexi, in the chat says, R.I.P. Albert Finney, who snubbed the Oscars because it's 6 hours without a drink or a cigarette.
Yeah. Albert Finney was great. He was the dad in Big Fish.
That's a really good way to that's a good way to snub the Oscars. Before it happens.
Yeah.
It's like, the Oscars are coming up. Somebody put an air bubble in my ivy.
That's almost as good as Marlon Brando snubbing the Oscars. His is pretty fucking epic, though.
His is legendary.
Yeah, absolutely fucking legendary. Like, I want to make a political statement and then stay home and do drugs. So he sends a Native American woman to go up there and be like, None of you are paying attention to the problems going on with Native Americans. What the fuck is your problem? And like, wow, shut the whole thing down.
Meanwhile, meanwhile at home, he's probably gobbling Richard Pryor's balls.
I would
hear about there.
Were they a thing?
Yeah, according to Richard Pryor's ex-wife, they had sex pretty regularly.
Nice. Fuck yeah. Dude, Pryor?
Here's the story.
Wow.
Pryor's got such a weird history where he grew up in. I'm sorry, we keep cutting you off, Nick.
Sorry.
In a poorhouse, and he's got. I can't recommend his autobiography enough. It's a very fascinating read, Richard Pryor.
I love Richard Pryor. He's amazing.
When I was this is one of my New Orleans stories. So this is when my roommate was filming Django Unchained, right? And one of the actors in that, who's an old friend of Quentin Tarantino's, guy's name is Craig Stark. Craig worked in the video store with Tarantino back in the day, and that's why he keeps showing up in all of his films in these weird roles. Like he was in Django Unchained. He was in Hateful Eight. He was like one of the side characters. Not that there were many in that film. But before, one of his side jobs while he was working in the video store was he used to be the security guard and the gate guy for the apartment building that a bunch of movie stars lived in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two of the stars who lived there were Marlon Brando and Jack Nicholson. Now, at the time, apparently Nicholson was really fond of going out late and coming home even later, right? And he had a big, loud car. And Brando would always hear his car coming in and get really fucking irritated by him. So what he did was he mounted a giant fucking spotlight on his balcony. And when he would hear Nicholson's car rolling up, he'd aim it towards the booth where he'd be there, and then he'd just turn the spotlight on so it would shine right in Jack's fucking eyes the whole time while he's trying to get through security. And then he'd turn it off as soon as he got let through. And I guess he got away with this for like 2 or 3 nights until finally, like, Nicholson figured out who it was, and he's all fucking spun out from a night out. So he started screaming at this guy, Craig, "You get the fuck up there and you tell him turn that shit the fuck off now! I'm not dealing with it one more night." He's just flipping out. Classic Jack Nicholson flip out. So Craig goes up to Brando's place and he knocks on the door. And he hears a bunch of music coming from it, and he knocks a little harder. And then finally, after about 5 minutes, Marlon Brando answers the door in the bathroom, like, "What?" he's like, "Mr. Nicholson asked that you stop with the spotlight." He's like, "Well, what spotlight?" He's like, well, he's claiming that the spotlight which shines on his car every time he drives in after 8 p.m. is yours. He's like, "Oh, that spotlight. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll let him know. I'll take care of that." So he went out and bought another spotlight. And then just continued doing that shit with a different spotlight. Because he said he turned that one off, so he did. So, no, that's the kind of way you get in, like, that's the classic Hollywood. That's a classic sort of Hollywood story that you don't get anymore, because now it's like, "Oh my God, Jake Paul almost hit my child with his truck." But,
not to divert too far off that, I uncovered a new thing recently that I don't think has really been documented online that much. I mean, maybe Rob Ager did a documentary on it, but Jack Nicholson, I have a source that recently came across an early draft of The Shining, and there's apparently some very insidious subtext there that I'm going to be revealing soon.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So stay tuned, I guess.
Okay. I got this.
Oh man, you got me all hard, and then you just leave me dry.
If I told you what it was, you wouldn't stay hard. I hope. Unless you were like Mercedes Carrera.
Oh.
It's a good segue, right?
Oh,
my
God.
joke wasn't the worst joke.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't know if you caught it, LowRes. Down in the ticker, one of the ticker lines is that Mercedes Carrera agrees to join a prison stage production of Not Without My Daughter.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, I'm the bad guy. Okay.
So this guy that you wanted to promote, do you have a video in mind of his that we should kind of take a look at, or should we just look at his trailer?
I would honestly, I don't have the video off the top of my head. Just take a look at his trailer. I would say.
Okay, cool.
This is a New Hampshire boy, by the way. Proof that there's more than one of us here that makes YouTube videos.
It's true. It's weird.
The internet just reached his county.
Although what's strange is, for some crazy ass reason, there are only 2 Eugene YouTubers. Only 2. Me and Skeptalk Live. Great guy, by the way. He and I went to the demolition zone and like broke a bunch of shit. That was a lot of fun.
There's a really good chance, Jeff, that like your one city has a population equal to or greater than my entire state. So,
I've seen a lot about Eugene, Oregon in the news recently. Wasn't there like
there's a shooting? Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah, there was this guy who fuck, I can't. I hate that this hit the internet too. It's so cringy. Yeah. There was this guy who went due to a custody dispute to a middle school. He got belligerent. The cops escorted him out, and they went to arrest him. He pulled out a pistol, tried to shoot the cops, missed, and in front of his own daughter, because he just tried to kill cops, the cops fucking like missed the first shot and then put the gun to his temple and popped him right in the brain. But the thing is, there's 2 things that are really cringy about this. Number 1, he had been posting on social media that it's time to kill some pigs. Let's kill some cops. And 2, he was wearing, when he died, he died wearing a shirt that said "Smash Patriarchy and Chill."
Oh wow! I thought you were gonna say Wakanda Forever.
Might as well.
Kind of the same thing.
So
very unfortunate.
Yeah, no, and I had to listen to fucking Tim Pool's video about it, and it was really fucking annoying. Like, I like Tim. I've met Tim many times. I've hung out with Tim quite a few times. But, like, this more than anything gave me an example of why I kind of get frustrated with him. He made this case.
I was going to say, his channel has changed greatly, I feel like, over the past year or so.
Yeah, no, he's very specifically politically directed at this point. Yeah. He's not as unbiased as he used to be.
Almost like it's a rabbit hole that you can fall down.
Well, maybe. But he was reporting that there were all these protests, these anti-cop protests, after the shooting footage was released, and that's not true at all. That's completely and utterly false. There was a shit ton of protests that happened after the guy got killed. The moment the footage was released and people were like, "Oh, he shot at the cops," nobody protested. Everybody was like, "Nope, we're done."
That one police video too, that one like body cam video that was released, because usually they're grainy and hard to tell. Like when a guy pulls a gun, he might as well be pulling a fucking TV remote out for all you know.
Right.
No, this is very clearly a Beretta 9mm. Nice gun too. But yeah,
it was a Taurus. It was awful.
Was it a Taurus?
Yeah, it was a cheap piece of shit.
Taurus makes good guns.
No, they don't. No.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
you know, all these talk about guns. I mean, whatever happened to slingshots? You know.
I know, Jesus Christ. Anyway, the main thing is,
Palestine. That's what happened.
I don't actually blame. I don't blame Tim necessarily, because like he's making a news blurb piece, but that was kind of like a thing that was kind of thrown in that I'm like, that's not true. And if you don't know if it's true, maybe you shouldn't add it. So that kind of pissed me off. But whatever, fuck it.
Also, well, I mean, you know, and it kind of, yeah, I did think that story also did speak, because, like, you know, we used to hear so much about desensitization, right? And it was always being shilled to us from, like, the religious people and folks saying, like, oh, if you watch sex or violence, you're going to get used to it. It's not even that. It's the fact that I noticed, like, you know, police shooting videos and people getting killed so fucking common. I didn't really catch many people pausing and saying, like, this happened at a child's school and she got to see it happen.
Well, that was the main thing. Like, the main question you should be asking yourself is why, when you go for a custody dispute, why are you going when you're armed? Like, that's a terrible idea. That's the main thing that I think anybody could take away from it. It was really sad, but all right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Real quick before I play this. JSC Hung says, "How are you? I just pulled my pubic hair out. Pliers." Oh.
Listen, pliers are just tweezers for people with bigger grasps.
That's true. Calligator says, #blame Squigums. The cause and the solution to all of life's problems. I will agree to that. Squigums is a force of nature.
Oh my God.
All
That
right.
just reminded me of something quick, Jeff. Can we get a wellness check on Addy Monster?
Oh yeah, Addie's not here tonight. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm worried.
God
We-
damn. It's not a
yeah.
YouTube Saints show if we don't have Addie Monster. It's weird.
No, Addy Monster's comments and Streamlabs chats are the funniest thing of the show.
Well, Addie, if you're watching in the future, expect a wellness visit from me. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna come and check your temperature.
Yeah, and if you get access to the internet, if you're being held by Dr. Squigums, just tweet about how much you love the onion bagels at Panera.
Right, and we'll know what we need to do.
It's time to go to Jersey.
We'll mount a replacements style rescue mission.
Oh, I thought you were saying replacement. So I was like, let us know, that way we can find a replacement. Like,
For that sweet, sweet trap ass. All right, so anyway,
Welcome to the Cinematologist Movie Review channel. Here, we analyze, dissect, and diagnose all forms of cinema, one movie at a time. From the black and white classics on the silver screen to the modern big day blockbusters of the present, you'll find a variety of movie reviews here to watch and enjoy. Now with that, why don't we get into a couple of the adequate rules for this channel. First of all, if you visit the channel, thank you. If you see one of the videos down on the list that you happen to watch and you like it, please click the like button, and we implore you to subscribe if you like any of this content for further content and to ensure us to give you more of what you like. But if you don't like a video and you click the dislike button, please feel free, and we implore you to leave your feedback in the comment section below so we know how to improve for future videos. And with that said, why not take a tour of many of our hundreds of videos and movie reviews that we plan on releasing and ones that we already have.
Why
So
don't
with
you
that
like
said,
Fast
thank
and the
you for visiting
Furious?
this
here, real quick. Actually, I wanna just jump like halfway into his analysis of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that'd be interesting.
By all means.
So let's go like about mid-range.
Leaked Vietnam reporting and everything that was going through the news cycle of the times, Hooper felt it was
Oh, it's
important
so
to
quiet.
capture the essence of what this bottom-feeding nature of the press.
Probably should have picked out a video before the show, I'm thinking.
Oh
yeah.
no. Oh.
You can blame the guy whose green screen doesn't work for this.
Well, let me just give him like a pitch. How about
Yeah.
that? We don't need to see a video. I mean, they get the idea.
Yeah.
He's not really a comedy guy. He's more of a like a film analysis type, obviously based off of that video. He puts out film reviews there, and he also does a podcast on my website, LowRes.live. Just started up about 3 weeks ago, called Dissecting Cinema. And each week, it's kind of the same format as my podcast, Movies, where he talks about a particular film, usually a more recent one. The first episode was Ghostbusters. The second one was a B movie that was released recently, The Car Road to Revenge. And then one just went out yesterday for mid-90s, the Jonah Hill directorial debut. So he's the cinematologist on YouTube.
Okay.
Or if you want to hear his show, LowRes.live. There you go.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll get his link here.
Thank you.
And
Guys.
I'll put that in the description.
Yeah. He's a filmmaker like myself, somebody who is just starting up, and we've done tons of work together. And if anybody has seen a lot of the sketches or short films that I do on my channel, he's frequently featured in them. So
Absolutely. He did look really familiar, honestly. So,
Yeah.
Cinematologist. Got it. Perfect. Sweet. Yeah, man. It's like that's like kind of the weird. That's a weird thing that I've had to learn before I could learn things like, well, I mean, like we were talking about. You know, I don't understand like ISO. I don't understand exposure. I don't understand this. I'm learning all this stuff from scratch. And the whole process of YouTube for me has been learning new skills. Like I know how to do CGI now better than I know how to frame a shot, just because of whatever skills that I've been using. But the thing that I had to learn almost immediately, because it was the same thing that every YouTuber told me over and over again. Every tip I ever got from any YouTuber always said the same fucking thing. Sound.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
fucking
absolutely.
get good sound. Because, like, fucking Shoe on Head still records in 480p.
Yeah.
She records in the most god-awful camera, but she's got a great microphone.
Yeah,
So
the
nobody
thing
cares.
that they tell you when it comes to film, it's the same thing. People will think it's intentional if the video is shitty. Obviously, with YouTube, it's a little different. But they will not tolerate it if you have bad sound. So you got to be, mindful of reverb or, whatever it is you're recording with. Absolutely. The way that I picked up all, like, the camera knowledge was by putting myself in severe debt and maxing out credit cards by thinking I could shoot a feature film when I was like 21. And I made 2 enormous fuck-ups financially within like a 3-year span. But the thing that came of that was essentially what you would learn in film school. So
yeah, absolutely.
10K down the drain, but here we are.
Well, practical. You can't put a price mark on knowledge there, my friend. All right, so Nick, you gotta introduce this next one because we're getting into random cam.
Yep. Now, this is something I've been trying. This is actually the guy. This is the first YouTuber I ever actually came to watch. You've seen him on the show. This is Dr. Random Cam. Pressed him for years to start making more cartoons. And his explanation last time on the show was that the reason he didn't was because, like, last year he didn't make any of the cartoons and did all of the drugs. This year he's endeavoring to do none of the drugs and make all of the cartoons. Now, this is his series. This is you can find this on his channel, Dr. Random Cam, and his Dark Cheese TV on YouTube. But this is a series of cartoons that he's been slowly making over time.
Do you want me to just start it from the beginning, or did you want me to start like a few minutes into it?
On the sheet, right, on the format sheet.
Yeah.
There should be a time-stamped point, but yeah, he's re-released his old cartoons with a series of new additions to let us see what it is, and I just fucking love. I love Random Cam's content on his own. There are very few people on the face of this earth whose mastery and grasp of the English language I envy. Mike's one of them, and then when it comes to his cartoons, I don't even know where to begin.
Okay, well, let's check it out a little bit.
This is based on a true story. It's not based on a true story. There's no such thing as based on a true story. It's either true or it's not. You find it's true then. All right, you get on with it then. Busking's nice, but it requires a license. Mime is fine if you can find the time. Dealing drugs is swell, depending on the clientele. Prostitution's great if you can get the rates. But in this crumbling economy, there's money down on Easy Street. Just follow me, you'll see. Just grow a beard, drink a beer, park your fat arse in the middle of the street. Do a pee and fall asleep. You'll awake with a small fortune at your feet. It's a wonderful time to be a tramp. It's a wonderful time to be a tramp. Just steal a dog, sit next to it, pretend that he's your only friend. Just look a little bit tragic, and then as if by magic, they'll give you all the money you can spend on special brew. It's good for you, helps you to forget about that slowly dying pet. It's a wonderful time to be a tramp. It's so terribly fun to be a bum. Get paid for your endeavours, doing nothing whatsoever. They're the management consultants of the stress. You don't need smacker cut to be a modern homeless bloke. Just an unshakable sense of defeat.
Woo! All right.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
But don't feel too distraught about his bank balance of naught. At least he's equalised his debts and his assets. Because if you've taken out a mortgage or a student loan or two, that tramp is several grand better off than you.
Oh, wow. That's too real, actually. That's way too real. Fucking hell.
Oh, I love Mike to the end of the earth for that.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah,
good.
no, that's his old shit too. I mean, like the modern cartoons he's dumping in there are even more, I'm going to say, in some cases, DMT / or black pill inspired.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel that.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, listen, the segment is called Now for Something Completely Different, and that was completely different, wasn't
That was
it?
very completely different. Absolutely.
I tend to agree.
I just accidentally clicked over onto the fucking turtle picture again. Fuck me. Okay. All right. Let's get to our cringe of the week. Our cringe of the week. Oh my fucking God. Jesus Christ. Our last segment of the night. Cringe of the week. Candace Owen says Hitler was okay until he tried to go global.
No, listen, this is a misinterpretation by the fake news media trying to bring down a proud conservative woman of color who's not playing into your identity politics, by the way.
Well, maybe we should just actually let her say her piece. Actually, maybe we should just
see that.
Let's see what she has to say.
I haven't heard this, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I agree. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a nationalist.
Not really. Nah, not really. No. I mean, wait.
Listen,
okay, let's take a poll. When you think the word nationalist, Nick, what's the first thing that you think of?
Armbands.
Armbands? Okay, well that's kind of Hitlerish. What about you,
Yeah.
Russ?
Trump.
Yeah, I think Trump. I think Trump too. I don't think Hitler. But I mean, if she's thinking about Hitler, that's fine. All right.
Socialist, but if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had
he was gonna make Germany great again, folks. He's gonna make Germany great again.
If Hitler just wanted to make Germany awesome and exterminate the Jews in Germany, nah, it's fine.
You know, that's the thing is, like, Germany wasn't the Jews' country. Those were migrants. They came over on boats. I would have flares at them personally, but
careful, you're gonna start getting people calling us Chapo Light.
Oh boy.
Hang on there, boy. Hang on there, boy.
It's better Chapo Light than the Rationalists Heavy.
Oh my God.
He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German, everybody to look a different way. That's not, to me, that's not nationalism. So in thinking about how it could go bad down the line, I don't really have an issue with nationalism. I really don't. I think that it's okay. It's important to retain your country's identity and to make sure.
She looks so nervous.
Well, it's because she knows that she's talking a whole bunch of shit and that she's just a hack job media whore who was previously famous for trying to run a doxing site, but then recognized that there was a whole host of gullible, red-pilled kids out there who would swallow any pile of bullshit so long as it felt, like it was owning the libs. Yeah. I mean, honestly, here's the thing. Here's what I think she's really trying to say is, like, real nationalism. Like, no, Hitler wasn't real nationalism. Real nationalism has never been tried.
Oh, wow.
Well, this woman is profoundly retarded, I think.
I mean, the real problem with Hitler was that he was a globalist. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
That what's happening here.
Like, how does that even make sense to call Hitler a fucking globalist?
I mean, I've heard that Hitler was an agent of Soros. So.
No, dude. Oh my God. No, you're 100% right.
Technically, Soros was an agent of Hitler.
The top two. The top
you
two.
Look deeper.
the top two capos under fucking Soros was Hitler and Joe Rogan. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. No,
That's right.
That's
yeah.
right.
Listen, this dainty lass is just trying to protect us from interdimensional and international child molesters at the same time. It's like I'm just waiting for her to see some like glimmering fissure in reality and start throwing road flares at it. Make a good time.
Fucking die, dude.
Which I think is incredibly worrisome in terms of the decrease in the birth rate that we're seeing in the UK. Is what
decrease in the wait fucking hang on let me pull that. I want to really know what the fuck she just said there. Hang on.
Well, she's worried about.
Oh my god.
She's worried about like, you know, pure English blood not being passed along.
Oh, I'm sure she's real worried about that. Oh my god.
Honestly, like tomorrow you could like Candace Owens is the kind of person like you could make clubbing orphans on the street like as something to own the libs with, and no one else would buy it, but if she caught wind of it, she'd run with it.
All right, let's go for it.
Or that what's happening here, which I think is incredibly worrisome in terms of the decrease in the birth rate that we're seeing in the UK, is what you kind of want to avoid. So I don't have I have no problems with nationalism. It's globalism that I try to avoid.
So no problems with nationalism, because one of the problems with globalism is too many brown babies in the UK. But Hitler was totally fine. His big problem was that he was a fucking globalist. Jesus fucking Christ.
Here's the thing.
Holy shit.
I was laughing about this on Twitter, but then I had some very, 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 very salient points made to me by some very serious Twitter accounts saying like, oh, it's just taking a context until you listen to what she actually said. But that's fine. It's fucking fake news media at it again, just using people's words against them. God damn. This is presidential level harassment right here.
I cannot even begin to understand how anybody listens to this fucking woman anymore. Like here's the thing. Like I want to be as real as I fucking can at this point. Like the state of the world when it comes to pop culture is a burning fucking dumpster fire. Everything is falling apart. Everything is melting, and everything is shit. Everything people try and put out and pump towards you in popular culture and popular media and popular shit that for you to consume is crap. It sucks. It's awful. But at the same time, there are these quintessential, beautiful, shitty fucking diamonds of pure idiocy that actually exist, like Candace Owens. Take for fucking example, Kanye West steps up to the plate, bends over and bares his asshole and says, yo, what's up? I'm on the MAGA train. What's going on, kids? And people are like, good for Kanye. And even me, I'm like, I don't like Trump, but like if he's going to embrace Trump and he wants to like make that part of his identity and he wants to be woke and put out a positive message while he's embracing Trump, fine, fuck it. Who cares? Whatever. I actually saw it as kind of a net good, as dumb as it was. Yeah. Candace Owens lost Kanye for Trump. She is the fucking reason Kanye is no longer on the Trump train. Why?
Hold on.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Wait. He is on the Trump train. On his Twitter, his last tweet, he's still there. He's just, I think he's disassociated himself from Candace Owens and Turning Point USA because they tried to use his design make money off of him. They tried to manipulate him.
That's right. Now, but he stepped away from like the fervent endorsement. Like he was hyper political. Now he still is expressing the ideas of like we got to have unity and like I'm still okay with Trump and whatever. But like he was going to be the shining beacon of hope. And she fucked that up.
Yeah.
How do you fuck up somebody literally coming up and baring their asshole and saying, "Use me, daddy"?
I'm gonna put my Hitchens voice on here. I will say that clearly, in the same way that I've described Antifa as the family dollar ninja in the past, I would like to go on record now as describing Candace Owens as the short bus Stacey Dash.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes. I think that's about as applicable as it can get, because here's the thing, everyone spends so much time flipping out about her recent foibles and gaffes and monumental retardation. That everyone fails to. They keep forgetting that the first time we ever heard about this cretin, this media shill, this two-dimensional phony piece of shit, was when she tried to launch an anti-bullying website dedicated to doxing people who said mean things on the internet.
It's true.
Yeah. She was she was that right up until Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu, I believe, came up against her, and then all of a sudden she recognized that there was an even more gullible market than SJWs, and that being the red pill scene, who will fall for anything.
You know what? Maybe
long as it owns the left.
Maybe collectively, we should all say thank you to Brianna Wu and Zoe Quinn for at least exposing this dumbass. No? Okay.
Unintended consequences, you know? I think anybody should have a red flag when one of these, puppets just pops their head up and they don't really, they're talking about changing the culture or wanting to do this or that, and then they don't have any other skill aside from, standing around with a microphone and saying these things. What does Candace Owens do? What did she do before this? She was on YouTube doing the same shit. Like, I don't know.
I'm just saying it's all no. It's just also manufactured. It's so manufactured, and you can see it. And the thing is too, like, when you're deep into like the YouTube game, you see people see the success of people like Candace Owens, and we saw people before Candace Owens. We saw how she followed suit with that, and you'll see your contemporaries falling to the wayside of being like, well, they just got a shit ton of fucking money doing that. Like, I'm gonna get into that too. What that really reveals is that none of this is real. None of this is real. This is all make believe. This is all bullshit. All of it is bullshit. All of your political fucking heroes out there, they're bullshit. They're bullshit.
George Washington?
George Washington was just following suit of YouTubers before him. Let's be real about this, okay?
He wasn't even the true first president, if you think about it.
Yeah, technically he's president of the Senate, but in George Washington's case, he was a land speculator who decided he would get into politics because his London creditors shut him off after he spent all of Martha's family's dowry, and then he wasn't allowed to actually prospect land in the Ohio River Valley, where he led a military expedition and saw plenty of fertile land to go for, and the Crown said, no, we're going to leave that alone, and then he got really upset about that. But this is the trick I find in modern politics, is that on the same day that this story blows up about Candace Owens saying, Hitler, he didn't do nothing wrong until he tried to go globalist, as it was. We have Trump coming out and saying that, Kim Jong-un is great and that North Korea is going to be an economic powerhouse, and he even tweeted out saying, there'll be a rocket. It'll be an economic rocket. Yeah. And then at the same time, and here's the thing, and I was joking earlier, I was hoping we'd see Sargon push out another How Great Was Pinochet thing so we could have a fucking hat trick. This is how it works. The progressive left, the SJW scene, they will stand up for anything. You can convince them that pedophilia is something worth defending as an identity. We know how stupid they are. But at the same time, what we're learning now is that the red pill right will fall for anything. You can have Paul Joseph Watson with his unsourced DMs running a story, and yet he still blows up regardless.
Depression's not real. It's just because you're unhappy with your life.
Depression's not real. You're unhappy with your life. I never leave my house, and I'm smoking because it triggers libs. You can have Alex Jones being praised as a hero by some people simply because people identified as being libtards think that the conspiracy theory nut job who called Sandy Hook victims' families crisis actors because they called him a shitbag, that's being triggered. Should we be surprised then that we get short bus Stacey Dash showing up and being touted around less than 2 years after trying to run an anti-bullying doxing site, and you have all of these dipshit red pill kids just falling for it because it works with their narrative? It's almost like the dawn of Gamergate is happening in the mirror right now. It's great.
Please no.
But let me ask you, Nick. Do you think that the malignance of the left and the right are equal now?
Getting there.
I mean, because I don't think that they are equal, but I think we're getting a peek into the window of what happens if this goes topsy turvy, and it's just as shitty, obviously.
Well,
Oh yeah,
I think
it's just
I think
shitty.
well, the way I think it breaks down, the way I think that it's a problem, right, is that so let's separate it into culturally and politically, right? Culturally, right, in terms of the popular fist pumping zeitgeists of the world, the fringe left is destroying us really bad there. Because wokeness has gotten so bad to the point we don't have a fucking Oscars host, even though none of us give a fuck. The Oscars have already gotten that bad because of that. But everything, every notion of culture is being infected with this wokeness vibe. Politically, we get the Trump shit. We get this red-pilled MAGA bullshit, which is honestly the single most insipid line of ideological horse shit I've ever come across. And I lived through the Bush years. I didn't think it'd get better, worse than the Bush Cheney years.
That was pretty bad.
Yes, and yet somehow it did. So politically, the right is doing, and they've kind of traded places. You can see the modern right, yeah. Instead of being the chest-thumping evangelicals of the 80s and 90s, we get Charlie Kirks and Ben Shapiro's who are really bad facsimiles of Bill Maher, right? They're doing the tongue-clicking and eye-rolling. Meanwhile, you're getting the moral hysteria out of the left, who is unfortunately starting to control the culture in that sense. And yet somehow, all of the dipshits who are calling game, who are setting the tones, who are running the board in this sense, are insisting that all of us have to fall into one of these two camps, and that you just need to learn to be comfortable with being called an SJW or a Nazi. Otherwise, you're just a racist tuck.
What do you think, LowRes?
I don't know if I agree with the idea that today's modern right is worse than what we had during the Bush Cheney era. I think those evangelic fuck it. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm tripping over my own tongue here.
Yeah.
The evangelicals. Thank you. Were much worse, and they actually had more cultural influence than this ragtag crew of Down syndrome children happen to have at the moment. Aside from having Kanye West here for like a month.
Yeah. He's a little down too.
Yeah.
And also, it's just a party of warmongers. So I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't know. It's still hard for me to see the fringe left as not the most destructive force right now. But with 2020 revving up, you guys looking forward to that? I think we could wind up going in the exact opposite direction. I don't think anything's off the
I'll
table,
put it this way: for a personal level, no hardcore left winger ever doxed me. No hardcore left winger ever actually tried to threaten my family. Never happened.
Sure.
Never happened. I have been doxed so many fucking times and gotten so many fucking death threats from right wingers. So, I mean, like, on the larger scale, on the larger political scale and whatnot, I would agree with you. Like, the hardcore, like, far extremist left is more cancerous, and it's more annoying. But I can ignore that.
Right.
Because me as a person, I can choose what kind of content I want to consume.
Well, I don't even know if it's necessarily worse or whatever than the extreme right. I think that there's just more of them.
I mean, sure.
I'll be honest. I got to be honest though. These guys, these days, I'm finding it harder and harder to see a difference between them. And yeah, I can see what they, believe and what they espouse and all of this, right? But in the same way that, like I just mentioned, that like because it used to be back in the '90s, right, when Bill Maher was becoming a thing, politically incorrect, early 2000s even. Like the thing for the left was being funny and snarky, tongue clicky and eye rolly. Now that's become the purview of the right with the Ben Shapiros and the Steven Crowders and the Candace fucking Owens, yeah. And then we also see this new retarded left adopting all of the unfortunate retarded shit that the right used to do with the moral panics and the fucking witch hunts and all of that. It's not even so much because, and again, it comes back to like talking about the notion of normies. Normal people normal, ordinary people, if you sit down and have a conversation with any one of them, if they're not inundated with this culture war crap, like, if you make a point that they hadn't considered before, they'll be like, well, shit, that's really interesting. And they'll think about it. And then they'll maybe adjust their perspective, or they'll adjust their thing, or they won't. They'll reject it on sound grounds of their own. Mm-hmm. The problem is these fringes, these dog shit right-wing, left-wing fringes, which really, the bigger media got, the bigger they got. They're running the board. They've taken a place in which they are defining for all of the rest of humanity the ways in which we can think. And because so many people are so busy, everybody's got jobs, mortgages, tax bills, car bills, all of this shit that they have to focus on. And that shit piles on more and more each year, it seems. That all of a sudden nobody has the time to really spend that time thinking about shit. And so they're told by the mass media, both sides, you have to have an opinion. You have to really care. You have to you plant your fucking flag in the ground and stand by it. And then they don't know where to begin. So what do? They find commentators. Now, pundits in the old school, fuck, I wish we could bring back Vidal and Buckley, because these days what we get is fucking Crowder versus Uger. And that is goddamn dog shit. And if that's what's defining the ways in which popular politics is thought in, like if those are the terms in which people are presented when they're coming into it saying, I need to make an opinion, well, I'm going to listen to these jackasses, and that's where they end up. And then they get inundated with that shit, and just like the YouTubers we've been talking about, who they just slide down that rabbit hole of realizing the more they say this, the more adulation they'll get. This is how it works. Left and right is relevant. It's not politics that's a fucking problem.
Let's give the last little bit for this discussion to LowRes.
Well, I don't know if I actually have anything to add on to that. I do agree, but I think the other thing to keep in mind is that I don't know if YouTube and even like iTunes is as big of a sphere as maybe we think it is because we work on here.
Sure.
Like I think it's very easy to look at guys like Steven Crowder as like a real problem, and I think maybe he could be a real problem. I find him quite frankly very annoying. I don't like his face. He's kind of got like a Stretch Armstrong doll kind of look to him.
He does that way, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really have anything particularly insightful to add to this. So
Well, this is serious Saints tonight, apparently.
We delved a little bit into the culture war, ranting a little bit there. Crab90 says, are you starving for some honest news? Do you have a disdain for political theater? Check out a blog for people who are so politically exhausted from bullshit and so cynical from stupidity that we're barely human anymore. That sounds like a blog that I would absolutely subscribe to. Absolutely.
I will say, just to make up for my lack of point there, I think the first step in the right direction is letting Alex Jones back on Twitter.
No, fuck him.
But he might chill out. He'll at least stop threatening Joe Rogan. You know?
Yeah, society does not need to be held at fucking hostage by, well, maybe he'll behave if we just let him back up. Fuck him. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. This is what's driving me so fucking crazy in the world right now. So many of these people are all about the free speech. We gotta have our free speech. What you actually mean, you fucking dickheads, is freedom from your fucking responsibilities, from the actions of what you do and what you say. You're like, oh, I'm gonna say that there's a bunch of crisis actors, all these fucking wingnut retards that listen to me are gonna go harass all these innocent fucking families grieving over their dead fucking kids. No, you have a responsibility for your fucking audience. You do. You absolutely do. I'm sorry. Maybe it's not a perfect world. Maybe you shouldn't have to be responsible for that, but you are. You fucking are. And because of that, you get your toys taken away. You fuck you, Alex Jones. Fuck you. I'm tired of it. All these fucking dickheads being like, we need our free speech. And what they mean is we need freedom from responsibility for the stupid shit we say. I say dumb shit all the time. All the time. I make a drunken ass out of myself all the fucking time on the internet. And I gotta deal with the repercussions from that. So do you. So do fucking you. All of you, you fucks. Every single fucking one of you goddamn YouTubers out there who try and say that you shouldn't be censored for your fucking free speech. Take some goddamn responsibility and man the fuck up. I had to. So do you. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
can I just ask you guys a question?
Sorry.
I'll throw this out there.
I'm sorry.
On that note, should there be a path to redemption for these individuals who have been held accountable for their free speech?
Klingon pain sticks.
Question being, what is the path to redemption? Because here's the thing, like, people have been like looking for redemption arcs a lot. And actually, if you guys want to check it out on my channel coming up soon, I'm going to be coining a new term, which I've already coined here. It's called chonging. And that's basically when you find yourself backed into a corner, an ideological corner that you can't get out of, because you've done some dumb shit or said some dumb shit or whatever. And then you decide, hey, there's a fresh market waiting for me on the other side. And then you start trotting there. Because here's how it worked. I mean, Ian Miles Chong during Gamergate was a hardcore fucking feminist.
Sure,
the guy was, yeah, he was
Do
like
not
both,
want to talk about this one. Oh my
both
god.
both barrels, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then all of a sudden, he gets a nice hug, tight, warm embrace from the red pill scene when he starts publishing right-wing red pill shit. Now it's kind of like Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Candace Owens tried to start a site called Social Autopsy, in case any of you have forgotten.
Right.
Her goal there was to use crowdsourcing to build up databases of people who said mean things on the internet, and then attach that to their real names, their employers, and dox the shit out of them so that they could be shamed and run out of society for the mean things they said on the internet. It wasn't until she ran afoul of Zoe Quinn and had her own fee-fees hurt that she decided and determined that there was an equally fucking gullible goddamn market on the other side. So if we're going to talk about redemption arcs, how do we avoid redemption arcs that don't just placate aside by Mia copying for Sophia Coppoling for everything?
I will personally stand for Alex Jones getting his Twitter account back, his Twitter and his YouTube account back, when we have a live stream event where 20 men, 10 on each side, dressed in BDSM gear, all have cattle prods, and he has to do the Klingon walk of pain, and they each get to shock him in the fucking balls with the cattle prod. If he makes it through all fucking 20 shocks to his fucking nutsack, yeah, he gets to come back to YouTube. Other than that, no. Fuck you. Stay the fuck off. Go the fuck home and sit the fuck down. Anyway, that's it. I
was gonna say that feels like very medieval, like how they would deal with the public shamings back in, the 1800s.
Well, maybe we need to go back to some traditionalist goddamn values. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe you and I were watching very different. Maybe you and I were watching very different Star Treks. Also, I just remember pain sticks.
Probably get my dick pretty hard off of that. Anyway. So all right. So we have been your YouTube Saints. That's it. That's it for the fucking show. Go check out LowRes Wünderbred, one of our absolute favorites. Amazing fucking man. He's a YouTuber's YouTuber. Go check out the Cinematologist, which is your recommendation. Link is also in the description. We'll see you on Wednesday on the Twitch channel. Go check us out there. We'll see you every single Friday. We're on Friday, right? Today's Friday?
Yeah.
Every single Friday, right here, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, the right time. 9:30 Eastern shitty time. We've been your YouTube Saints. Good night, guys.
Thank you for having me on again, guys.
Absolutely.
Don't worry. Also, don't forget, Jeff. We just got a Streamlab.
Did we? Oh shit! Anime Moon says, "No, Jeff. You let Jones back on Twitter. Let them take each other out. Then we no longer have to deal with either cancerous mass of shit. We all win some sanity back. I don't know. Fucking everything's on fire. Fuck everything."
No, man. Can you guys really believe? Can you really believe they bought that whole political thing we were doing?
Oh my god. I mean,
that was like 2.5 weeks of work there. I can't believe it pulled it off.
Sense. I mean, did I deviate from the script on that one at all?
Oh, I mean, Christ. I've been just actually surfing Richard Spencer's Twitter just to keep myself level, God damn.
We love Sargon.
Oh, I love Sargon, and honestly too, as a Jew, when I read Spencer's blogs, I'm like, maybe they just didn't have enough trains.
They just didn't. That's not even fucking funny. Oh my god.
I can say it though, and you can't, because that would make it racist.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. You, as a Jew, making a joke about trains during the Holocaust. That would be bad.
Well, no, listen, it'd be fine because I tell them that I have a motion sickness problem, and they'd be like, okay, you can go home.
Oh, I think, personally, I think the Oscars are great. I love the Oscars. The Oscars are actually my favorite program on the television set.
Oh, no, I was actually thinking, I mean, like, that there's this, thank you for bringing it up. I mean, there's a natural transition from the Holocaust to the Oscars in which a tiny black guy was completely erased from history.
Oh my God!
Simply for his nature.
I mean, in all honesty, I think it would do for a Kevin Hart Hitler biopic. So.
I think, honestly, I want to see, because we're in the age of reboots and remakes now. I mean, tell me you wouldn't want to see a Schindler's List reboot with Kevin Hart.
Jeff would be so excited about that.
Dude, no, I'm imagining like a movie with like where it's all about like the end of World War II, but Kevin Hart is playing Hitler. Yeah. And like when he gets all stressed out and shit, like the Eastern Front has fallen. And he's like,
fucking Aryan Finnish.
What are you talking about, man? I thought you had everything under control. I'm just sitting over. I was counting on you. What are you doing?
I'm still seeing Jews. Wait, what the fuck? No, but I mean, here's the thing, though, is like I really want to see. I want to see Kevin Hart. I want to see a race-swapped Schindler's List because everybody knows Liam Neeson's the real Nazi now. I want to see him replaced with Kevin Hart, and that's the redemption arc we were talking about, isn't it?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Kevin Hart, Oscar Schindler in place of Liam Neeson, who we now have cast as Goebbels. Yeah. No, digitally insert him as Goebbels. It's great.
Yeah. This is the best idea I think we've ever had. Oh my God.
Remember, you got to